India has served as a colony of the Britishers. Britishers were the ones who modernized Bharat that was gripped under the clutches of Rajshahi. The Goras were so kind-hearted that they awarded independence to the poor Indians. This was the false public discourse before the arrival of Narendra Damodar Das Modi. PM Modi brought along a man who could personify his dreams of looking into the eyes while talking to the world, especially the West. The man is External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who has started giving it back to the West with elan. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tejasvi Malhotra, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video, I will tell you how S. Jaishankar shattered the narcissism of almighty Europe. India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is on a 4-day trip to Slovakia and Czech Republic. The man of the moment, EAM S. Jaishankar, came down heavily on Europe while speaking at the GlobeSec 2022 Bratislava Forum on Friday. While speaking at the interactive conference, Jaishankar slammed the Europe for constantly criticizing India's decision to buy Russian oil. Not only this, he also questioned the West's decision to not lift the sanctions on Iran and Venezuelan oil. Jaishankar thrashed the Europeans' colonial hangover and pointed out Europe's mindset of it being the almighty. Alluding India's stand on the Russia-Ukraine crisis, Jaishankar remarked that India does not make foreign policy choices that are cynical or transactional in nature. All eyes are on the Russia-Ukraine crisis, and the war has adversely affected the trade around the globe. World trade today has become complicated as most of the nations have picked sides. The main debate is around oil and gas, the resources that all nations need, and the ones who have picked sides are criticizing others who haven't. The West comes in this category. The situation is not simply black and white and contains a lot of grey areas. EAM Jaishankar pointed them well at the Bratislava Forum. Jaishankar made it clear that Europe must not see India's decision of importing Russian oil through a political lens. Responding to India's role in funding the Russian invasion of Ukraine by Russian oil, Jaishankar asked, "Is buying Russian gas not funding the war?" He further added, "It's only Indian money and oil coming from India that funds it, but not the gas coming to Europe." He exposed the West's agenda of squeezing every other source of oil and remarked that if countries in Europe and the West and the US are so concerned, why don't they allow Iranian and Venezuelan oil to come to the market? The West has a habit of flashing the China card to get India on their side by hook or by crook. Jaishankar gave a much-needed lesson on India's foreign policy to Europe. Jaishankar came down heavily on Europe and said that being the 5th or 6th economy of the world, India is capable of managing its difficult relationship with China. Criticizing Europe, he marked Europe's silence on issue concerning Asia and pronounced how India condemned the Bucha killings. Establishing India's stand, he said, "If I get global understanding and support, obviously it will also help me. But this idea that I do a transaction, I come in conflict, one, because it will help in conflict. Two, that's not how the world works." And made it clear that what is happening between Russia and Ukraine will never happen between India and China. On the question to join the global power axis, Jaishankar remarked that India is entitled to make its own choices, which is a balance of values and interests, reinstating India's stand of independent foreign policy. Jaishankar made it clear that India's foreign policy is not about sitting on the fence. Rather, India is standing its ground. Saying that India has not ignored the crisis that broke out after Russian invasion of Ukraine, Jaishankar reminded the Europe that India called for direct telephonic conversation between the heads of Russia and Ukraine. There There was a time when the big powers of Europe controlled the major chunk of the world, and some big European countries think they still hold the power to control the narrative of the world. But the time has come when the European powers should come out of their colonial hangover, as they are not the only powers of the world, be it politically or economically. That is what Jaishankar pointed out when he said somewhere Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems. But the world's problems are not Europe's problems. That if it is you, it's yours. If it is me, it is ours. I see reflections of that. The world cannot be Eurocentric as it was in the past. As in today's multipolar world, groups like the Quad exists. And there is no denying the fact that the globe needs India. India had received enough of lecturing from the big powers about moral grounds, human rights, economics, and whatnot. And finally, India is asserting its stand like never before. India has got enough of preaching and is now giving it back to the Westerns with elan. India, a nation of 125 crore people, as highlighted by PM Modi multiple times, doesn't and will not take unsolicited lectures from the colonizers. The Europeans may find it hard to digest, but they will have to accept the hard fact that gone are the days when India bowed down to the Queen.